Guess what? Guess what freaking day it is? I would argue the favorite of lifters across the world, across the board, across every denomination and, well, any other barrier of entry. It's chest day. I'm talking straight up chest, no chest and tries, no chest and shoulders, chest. With, a hint of cardio afterward, but that's dessert. That's its own kind of thing for later. So I was kind of hemming and hawing a little bit about exactly what gym I wanted to go to tonight, because I've been going to the ones that are just a bit closer to the house, but one thing that I miss out on is a lot of hammer strength press machines. And not even just like hammer strength specifically, but plate loaded, almost sort of concentric pressing machines, because those are kind of a good in-between of like an incline Smith and those incline converging cable presses that I do, because it's kind of a best of both worlds between a heavy press, right? Like I'm loading a pretty substantial amount of force into my pecs, but I'm also getting a really good squeeze and hold at the top. Usually it's a little bit of like one or the other, right? With incline Smith or an incline bench or something like that, where it's a very simple loading, obviously it's heaviest down here at the bottom, and then you rest up at the top, right? It's like a squat. You're gonna take a breath at the top while you stand up and there's no force going through your quads. You're not gonna sit in the hole and say, all right, I better take a good breath before I finish this rep, And then with cable flies or, pec deck or anything like that, you get a really good squeeze, but typically you're not throwing as much weight around. And usually that's for good reason. Either there's just no point, or that's just not the, kind of movement you're aiming for. But with a lot of the converging chest presses, especially the plate loaded ones, where the weight kind of feels heavier throughout the range of motion, it's a heavy press, but you get a really hard squeeze on the top, which is a style of set that I just haven't really been doing a ton of, because some of the gyms I've been going to just don't have that kind of stuff, which actually may have changed a little bit, given that all the P-Fits got a bit of a buff with hack squats and that laying chest press. I haven't tried that one specifically. I haven't tried that one specifically, so I'm not totally sure, but who knows? Maybe I got to make the next chest day a visit to the Purple Gym and kind of find out. But all that's to say is I'm going to walk in, warm up, loosen up my shoulders, load my triceps with some single arm pushdowns a little bit, kind of just play around on the cables, do a little bit of lat activation work, just make sure everything in this whole kinetic system is moving around and playing together nicely, and then pick whatever starter movement I'm thinking and go from there. And I really can't say like exact specifics of, okay, I want to do this chest press and this fly and this pec deck and this cable. That's the workout. Like I don't have that workout in mind yet. And in a way, sometimes I feel like you're kind of limiting yourself in terms of your sort of openness to how you're going to feel during the workout if you get yourself locked into a specific lift like that. Because let's say in my mind, I'm imagining myself doing incline Smith or something. And then I actually get to the gym and I do a couple feeler reps, warm it up. I'm like, oh, incline Smith doesn't really feel all that good right now. Oh. Why would I want to just do that movement if now I know it's not really clicking as well as I would have liked, right? So I guess my main point there, I think there's a big value in having some fluidity to at least be open to, sort of duck and weave what machines you do on a workout by workout basis, just because you never know how you're going to feel. And you definitely never know how busy the gym is going to be, right? If somebody was like diehard, I have to start my leg day with Smith machine squats. Crap, somebody's on the Smith machine. What's the guy supposed to do? Just sit there and wait until he's done? I mean, if that's your thing, then whatever. But frankly, I would just say, all right, well, just take him. I'm not going to work in on squats with a guy doing incline bench. That just doesn't make any sense at all. So I'll pick something else and go from there, right? If you can't, I can't remember what the Bear Grylls saying is. But either way, I can guarantee this is going to be up there in terms of the freak factor for me. Veins-wise, striations-wise, everything-wise. So no point talking about it. How about we just go make it happen? Let's keep it simple. Heavy incline Smith. Nothing wild in terms of tempo. Really just as many reps as I can muster. And weight-wise, this is heavy, but it's not too heavy. I think this is just about the cusp of what I should be doing right now. One more of those. I think a little two and done will be good. Yeah. Yeah. No. All right. Let's do something a little bit lighter. This definitely contributes to my heavy sets for the lift. No. Let's totally change it up. Get a little set of flies going here. Same style though. No crazy hold and squeeze. Just a classic straight set. Oh yeah. Oh. One more. Ish. I'm actually gonna go a little bit lighter. A few more sets until I'm fully pumped. I'd say we're 70% of the way there, blood flow wise. My only gripe with this machine is that this back pad is not wide enough. And I feel like I'm trying to balance making sure both my shoulder blades stay in contact with it. But this will be a good, reasonably hefty, but still squeezing set. And then I think I'll finish with a different plate-loaded press. And that'll be all. That was good, but let's just do the one. Let's move on. This very well may be the last set, so I will approach it as such and try to leave nothing to take. Okay. Let's find some lighting. Chest complete, I say. All right. Chest complete. And I would say chest complete to a level of satisfaction, which is, well, it's making me excited for this pose down. That is for freaking sure. But no point talking about it, and we can actually just look at it straight in the face. Let's make sure I'm still in proper focus. There we go. Oh my gosh. Holy crap. Oh man. Yeah, I am definitely feeling the lack of calories. But I'm also certainly feeling the increase in vascularity and graininess as well. So a good balance of give and take in that aspect of things. But for you, let's get in the car. For me, I've got some pedaling to do. So I'll see you once that's done. There we go. All right. Chest pumped. Cardio complete. Now I get to go home. Have a big bowl of about, I think, 4-ish ounces of cubed ham, pan seared, and then added 50 grams of protein worth of egg whites with some fat-free cheese kind of mixed in. Total macros counting about 70 grams of protein, 5 of fats, and about 8 of carbs. And the whole mix all together is very much McDonald's Egg McMuffin-esque, because it's got the ham, it's got the eggs, it's got the cheese. It's not the same, but that is sort of the vibe that I'm picking off of it. But tomorrow has a very strong probability of being a rest day. I'm not going to call it now. I'll just have to see how I feel then. But yeah, we will have to see, because I am feeling a little bit scrappy. I can tell I'm on the snifflier side of things, and I've probably had about 20 grams of carbs worth of Ricolos today. Even the cough drops, man, you got to count those freaking carbs. That is not negligible, right? I mean, I know it seems OCD, but I'm not joking. Anything with caloric value, whether you track it or not, is going to be dealt with accordingly once it actually gets into your system. So maybe that handful of M&Ms that you thought didn't really matter, and then that couple Pringles you took from the pantry, and those that few scoops of ice cream he got in the fridge when nobody was looking at 2 in the morning, and that a couple slices of American cheese he had just as a little bit of a snack. Look, man, just because nobody saw the wrapper fall into the trash can does not mean that it didn't make a sound. All right, so that's on you. But I feel like I've been neglecting all of the bulking lifters out there. All I've been talking about is calorie deficits and freaking not eating food, and all the tricks that go along with that for the last 4 months at this point. This is day 121. So that's something that's actually a little bit of a motivating factor for me right now in terms of not eating extra food, because I can remember 6 months ago as I'm bulking up, I was feeling it basically the exact same way in reverse, where obviously my difficulty with the food was not eating enough, but having trouble eating enough. So for me, the difficulty level of the dieting is an up and down, right? It starts easy and it gets progressively more difficult towards the end of each phase. And then once I swing back around from bulking to cutting up, that easiness factor resets, right? So after, let's just look at the situation right now. I've been limiting myself calorie-wise. I am certainly hungrier to eat more food than I'm eating right now. Like, that's a given. If you put me if we cut the reins loose and I was like, this diet is done, I'd start grubbing instantly. Now, of course, that's not what I'm going for, but in a hypothetical sense, right, that would be the situation. So right now my difficulty is trying to limit the amount of food that I'm eating. So in about a month or so, once I start bulking up again, open the floodgates, that's going to be a very easy time, because I'm not just going to go crazy and start eating like 6,000 calories a day. That'd be a complete waste. All I would end up doing is stressing my system, making myself lower insulin sensitive. It's, you got to ease your way back into those sort of things. So for that first month, even probably 2 months, for me to be bulking, eating enough food to start gaining weight, all I've got to do is eat when I'm hungry. My body will sort of self-regulate to the point where me eating just based on my appetite level on a daily basis, like obviously not trying to go completely overboard and like eat till I feel sick or anything, is gonna probably put me around that 30, probably low-ish to mid 3,000 calorie range, and that'll be enough food that I'll start gaining weight and beefing up and carbing up again and start gaining more muscle tissue. So that first month and a half, 2 months, absolutely smooth sailing. It won't even feel like I'm bulking. Now, come, the beginning of month 3, that's when I'm going to have to say, all right, well, I've been eating at my sort of appetite for the last 2 months. I've bounced back from whatever my end weight is from this diet up to, 240, 250, whatever, like a fully carbed up weight. Now I've kind of plateaued, right? So if I want to continue that rate of weight progression and weight gain, I got to start eating a little bit more food. So I'm going to up the calorie intake, maybe 500-ish, 400-ish a day on average. Go from there. Watch my weight begin to increase yet again. And then, as long as I'm gaining weight and getting bigger, then I'm good. And once that calorie intake is no longer resulting in the body weight changes I want, and my weight gain starts to slow down, that's my cue, eat more food, right? So in a bulking phase, it's a simple if-then, right? Like we're doing freaking, computer MATLAB coding. If you are not gaining weight, then you need to eat more food. That's a little more complicated than that, of course, right? It's not like I just eat anything with any caloric value at all, right? That's not what I'm getting at. But it really can be boiled down to there. If someone's not gaining weight, I would say the problem is they're not eating enough food, assuming their sleep and training are reasonable. So that's where I'm going to gradually increase the kind of intensity of the diet over time. So the longer I bulk for, the more food I'm going to have to eat to give myself that new stimulus of like I mean, just physically enough food to induce weight gain. Because the bigger you get, the more calories you burn just staying alive. So it's kind of a constant battle like that. And the bulking phase, or that next bulking phase, will end once I can no longer eat enough food to sustain weight gain. And I'm plateaued, and I'm like, this isn't going to work. I've kind of stressed my system out enough. I can't eat 8,000 calories a day, right? I'm not half Thor freaking Bjornsson or Eddie Hall. I've got a certain limit to what I can even freaking handle. But, you know, that isn't going to be until like probably 6 or so months into the bulking phase. And by then, I will have put on a good chunk of body fat, hopefully a better chunk of lean tissue underneath, and I'll be able to say, all right, I've had my fill. This bulk has come and gone. I am now bigger than I've ever been, but now I got a problem. I want to get this body fat off me, and I want to reset my appetite. Because at the end of this next bulking phase, I am not going to be hungry at all. Like, same thing with this last one. The first 2 weeks of this diet, where I'm trying to cut down, absolute easiest thing in the world, because I had kind of, pushed my appetite so hard where it's like my body doesn't want to eat any more food. So as soon as I switch from cutting to bulking or bulking to cutting, it starts off extra easy and gets progressively more difficult. So right now we're getting into the crunch time of difficulty of this dieting phase, because the longer you do it and the leaner you get, the harder it is to keep getting leaner. But not unmanageably hard, well within freaking reason. So plan now, go home, have a nice protein-focused last meal of the day, pass out, wake up for cardio in the morning, and then just keep running it back indefinitely. So I think that's all I got. Oh yeah, no, so I'll see. If I wake up fresh, feel good, back will continue as normal. If I'm still a bit kind of scrappy, then I got to give myself a little bit of extra kind of recovery and just have a chill day, which is not my cup of tea, but when necessary, it's the right move. I'm not anti-rest day. I'm just anti-unnecessary rest day. And I feel that there is a very big difference between those two situations. But I will see you for, I'll see you for something tomorrow.